Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Eureka Street Crypto Podcast. I'm Eureka John, and I haven't been doing this every single day, but I do pop up here now and then with some guests and people I've met in this community along the way. This has been an amazing journey. This is episode number, what is it? Episode number 509. So they're stacking up. And this is my sandbox where I experiment with different projects. This is my message in a bottle where I reach out and try to find other people in this community besides people in the meat space in real life that don't know what the heck I'm talking about. And this is my brain dump where I just kind of just dump all of my news and things that I learned. And this is the table where I lay it all out on. So good, bad, and ugly. It's all here at the Eureka Street Crypto Podcast. And today I have a very special guest. This is one of my first guests. His name is Magic Mike, and way back in episode number 201, July 11th, 2021, he came on the show and representing a project called the Crypto Playground, helping some of the noobs come into the space. It seems to be very much a part of his ethos, and his mission is bringing in and helping people just like come into this space. This is a dangerous place. You know, it's a fun place, but it's also very dangerous. And it's kind of like going into the bazaar and all the tent and the flea market and just kind of wandering around. And there's some really cool stuff to be had there, a lot of innovation, but you can also get robbed very easily. And so that is something that Mike does a really good job of doing. Coming from a cybersecurity background, it's like in his bones. So yeah, man, that was just my introduction of you. I'll let you take it away and just kind of go from there and tell me about yourself, Mike.
Thanks, John. Hey, it's great to be back talking to you again. We did this 2 years ago, and I remember you were telling me that you were going to stay committed. You said every morning I'm going to get up, I'm going to record an episode. I don't know what the heck I'm talking about, but I'm going to record an episode every day and until it becomes something. And you did it, man. So I'm proud of you on that front, and I'm glad to be on your show here to talk about the evolution of the meme culture. So this is pretty exciting for me. So I'm going to start back when I got into space in 2016. I'm going to tell an abbreviated story of how I fumbled my way into the crypto space. So my brother was telling me and it was the summer of 2016. He was telling me how great of an innovation Bitcoin was. And I felt like it was way too complicated for me to try to come on board. I said, you have to do all these things with wallets and addresses. It was way too much. I remember when Bitcoin started running up in price, I was trying to open up an exchange account. I was going on to every website that was available, and every site I tried to get onto, it would say that they had too many requests, so they wouldn't accept my account creation requests. I couldn't KYC, and then finally I got through on, I believe it was Binance, I got through on, but then I couldn't deposit funds. I had to wait for the verification. So my friend sent me my first $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, so that way I could start trading in the space. And the first thing I did was buying everything else that I thought was going to be the new Bitcoin. So I was looking for things that were like a penny, a fraction of a penny. I was just buying it all because I didn't understand the value proposition of Bitcoin. So one of those things that I ended up acquiring at the time was Dogecoin. And Dogecoin, it costs a fraction of a penny. You can buy a whole bunch of it. And everybody in 2016 was saying the same thing. If this thing goes to $1, I'm going to have however many coins I have. That's going to be like $30 million. So you call your family and you're excited. You're freaking out that you're about to make $30 million and live the Bitcoin story. And that wasn't the case in 2016. But I'll tell you what did happen is I did download a horrible portfolio app that glitched out every time you opened it. So when I bought my Dogecoin, I went to sleep, and out of excitement, I woke up at like 1:30 in the morning, and I opened up this portfolio app, and I looked at it, and it said it was like $3,400,000 and some odd dollars inside the app. And I got super excited, and I called my friend that sent me the $1,000 and said, hey, Keith, man, check your wallet. We're millionaires. And then he opens up the wallet, he looks at his, and he sees the reality of the situation. And then he said, what portfolio app are you using? So I tell him. And then he was like, oh, yeah, that one glitches out all the time. Just give it a few seconds and the price will settle down. I went back to like $100. So I was broke. So, yeah, definitely my story was getting into the meme coin space started in 2016.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm gonna leave it there for a second so you can comment on that.
Yeah, I've had that happen to me too. You open up a wallet and there's like a glitch and just some kind of weird spike in something or another, and you're like instantly like a billionaire.
Yeah, exactly. All the
Moment of euphoria. Yeah, so you started with the meme coins, as the alternative to Bitcoin. I remember, like everybody was trying to do some, little tiny fork on Bitcoin and, call it something new. And they still do that to this day, just maybe not with Bitcoin, I guess. But, anyway, so yeah, these meme coins came in and these worthless Doge coins and, Shiba Inu, I'm in this space, in this Web3 space. I started out trying to make money, and then I was like, I learned a little bit about Ethereum and how the world computer, and then I started seeing all this utility and stuff. Like it could be the next insurance, it could be the next this and that. It could be the next data protocol, and then I started looking for utility in every single token, because I wanted to find a use case. I didn't just want to be one of those crypto shill people, because I would go to like a neighbor's barbecue and they'd be like, hey, which tokens are you investing in? And like, the guy's like, oh, I bought 1,500 Shiba Inu or whatever, $1,500 worth of Shiba Inu. And I was just like, okay, man, because at that point, I just wanted to find like real use case for it. And I didn't want to be one of those slimy like people that's just like shilling weird stuff to pump and dump, and I don't know, it just didn't feel right to me.
Yeah.
And so the utility and use case was it, but then a lot of times there's tons and tons of these utility use case, amazing on paper tokens. The white paper's amazing, but the community falls flat and it's just evaporates away, vaporware. It's gone. Amazing white paper.
Yeah. That's what I saw in 2016 as well. Is what I was betting on with Dogecoin was the power of community. And I was hoping that out of the hundreds of thousands of people who are in the community, I said, one of these guys is going to be a dev and they're going to put utility behind this. And I waited 4 years and it didn't do anything. And then all of a sudden, when I decided to sell it, because I understood the space and I was looking for utility, I said, let me sell this garbage and put it inside one of these other, projects like Chainlink or Polygon or, XRP at the time before the lawsuit. I said, let me move this money to some place that makes sense. And then that's when Elon Musk comes into the scene and then starts to talk about Dogecoin, and then it goes up and millionaires are printed overnight. So I missed the bus on that. And I tell you, I was a bit of a transition from altcoins focused, and then I understood the value proposition of Bitcoin. There's a book that's called Bitcoin Hard Money You Can't F With. And then there's a few other books that talk about the impact of Bitcoin as a technology, as a store of value globally to protect citizens against inflation. And it talks about how it's like unlocking people who didn't have access to e-commerce and participation in the world economy. It's freeing them from their inflationary assets and then also allowing them to participate in e-commerce. So I understood the value proposition of Bitcoin. So I became a Bitcoin maximalist for a long time. And I think as I'm watching the space evolve and I'm watching new coins come out and millionaires being printed overnight, it caused me to go back and look in the crypto space again with a more critical eye than I did in 2016, with a little bit more knowledge, and just kind of look into the meme coin space and say, what's happening now? And that's pretty much where I'm at today, is kind of deep diving into the culture coin communities is what we're calling it now. We're kind of moving away from memes because I don't know if you've been following, but the Avalanche chain has recognized the value that these communities are bringing into the layer ones, and the transactions and the culture that's being promoted on these chains is what they're trying to get after. So AVAX said they were going to allocate, I think it was $100 million to support the culture coin communities on their chain. So when I saw that, I said, okay, the narrative is shifting. These communities are not just about let's create memes and get together just for high fives and laughs. It's really about how can we do something as a community. Let's try to find ways to make utility for these tokens, whether it's staking or tipping or social impact. The space is changing.
100% agreed there. Yeah. And it resonates with me talking about Bitcoin and, it kind of being this whole other separate category in a way. I don't know if you've read the book Soft War by Jason Lowry, and it talks about power projection and the strategic significance of significance of Bitcoin on cybersecurity and all that. And as a cybersecurity specialist, you might, be able to resonate with that, and the whole idea of using physical force, and then that being represented in a proof of work type of way. And to me, that's kind of where cryptocurrencies tends to fork out. Like you have the Bitcoin side, and then you have people going towards the social side, and these meme coins, like you said, becoming culture coins. And on-chain Alpha, a show with Humpty under Crypto Sapiens, he had a guest on Wednesday from Covalent, Eric Ashdown, and he said, speaking about like the Web3 side of things, that DeFi is the end game, right? And it's like DeFi is kind of what you're talking about, these little tiny communities. And it started off with Yearn Finance and all these forks of it and Sushi Swap and all that stuff. And it started building memes around these tiny little obscure DeFi protocols. And then, 10 years from now, will we really look back and think that was a wise choice to dump into these DeFi protocols? But we do, and back then, and then we'll say we did because it was fun, and there were people around there, and it built community. So at that time, and right now, we are building these rails, whether we know it or not, for the next DeFi protocol to be going into our decentralized ID and our wallets, and everything is going to be in those wallets, and it's being done through community coins and memes and obscure DeFi protocols.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I think about inside these culture coin communities is how will people organize and connect in the new world? And I think these coins are showing us a way that people show that they share the same value when they hold a particular token. That's the membership to the environment that they resonate with. They said this environment resonates with my values. It has a self of belonging. And I was kind of getting a little bit deep into it when I had the podcast with the BAWLS ONU team. And I said, there's a lot of people out there that sit behind their computer in a basement with a Mountain Dew and no friends. And they say, well, how can I connect out to the world? I don't feel like I have a place where I belong. I don't want to be me in the real world. And then when they join these communities, they have a sense of belonging. They have a sense, they share in these memes, they can post things, people laugh. There's acceptance, there's no judgment. And these communities are showcasing how people can connect under a similar ideology globally. And I think that there's power in that, because when you mobilize those communities towards social good, then you can really get after it. If you can take the entire SHIB army, you can take the entire Doge army, or you can take the whole BAWLS ONU team and their community as it grows, and you say, let's get after it. BAWLS ONU, we're focused on men's health around testicular cancer. We're focused on helping, or contributing to those workers that have occupations that require balls, service members, police officers, emergency service workers, and how can we have an impact on those people too? So I think as we bring people together under these culture coins, we can actually achieve significant impact.
100%, and this is what my whole idea of the 3 points I brought up at the beginning of the show, like this show is like my message in a bottle to reach out to people, because, during the COVID era, I was lonely, like I was interested in this. I didn't have anybody in real life to talk to about it. And it's brought this entire community of people all over the world to me, and, vice versa, me to other people. And that's what a lot of these meme coin and these DeFi, these obscure DeFi protocols and stuff like that are doing. And it's so funny, like you're saying, I went deep and I got philosophical, and then you mentioned BAWLS ONU in the same sentence.
What brings it back up, right?
Yeah. I couldn't help but laugh, But I'm like, I guess, younger Gen X, and my wife, she's a millennial, and she says the difference between my generation and your generation is your generation is total potty humor, Jim Carrey, Dumb and Dumber. You guys love that type of stuff, like, bathroom humor. So I see that BAWLS ONU's got a little bit of that, and I'm over it. So yeah, tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Balls on You. So I came across Balls on You when I found the Cox Inu community on ABAC. So when Cox came out, I thought it was hilarious, and I was like, "Oh man, what is this token Cox Inu? They're going to go to zero real quick because it's like way too vulgar." And then I saw the narrative around it, and then when the Avalanche Foundation came out, and they were pretty much touting the success of the attention that meme project brought to their platform. They said this is great, and they found a way to spin the narrative from Cox Inu to taking it to a bird and then building a community around it. People thought it was humorous, so they were successful. They went up to, I think, at one point in time, $110-50 million market cap. They did phenomenal, and a lot of millionaires were printed in that effort, and the community still thrives today. So then Balls On You came out, and I saw this as a new opportunity, and I said, okay, let me go and take a look at what the team is doing. So I jumped into the Discord, and I was watching what we have what's called the Council of Balls. It's kind of like Game of Thrones. We all sit on a hill inside of a castle, and it's like a few of us, and we sit around a table, and we decide what kingdoms we're going to conquer and how we're going to name them. So that's where the NFTs and stuff comes from, is the Council of Balls. So yeah, I'm kind of like the little finger. That's So when I saw the values that the council had, that they were verbally communicating, the transparency and the values they were communicating, they weren't shaming people that took advantage of when they ran up to $4 million market cap, and people were pulling their money and they were going out there and living their best lives, paying their bills off, improving their lives. The founders and the core team members were saying, yeah, do more of that. Go out there and take your profits. We're not going to shame you when the chart goes down. We're going to be proud. We want you to come tell your story. Tell us that you paid off your bills, that you've taken care of your kids, that you put them in college, that you made your life better, because that's what it's about for them. And then as I talked to them, and I found out there were veterans as a part of the team. There were people who are business people who are part of the team. And I said, you know what? When you deconstruct these projects, there's humans behind it, and these humans have stories. And a lot of these people are not just cold rug pullers that's trying to destroy lives. These are folks that are behind the scenes. We're sitting on there and trying to figure out, how can we mobilize this effort to have a true social impact outside of just having a logo? This is what brings people together, right? Once you have them together, it's what you do with that attention afterward that matters. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're trying to get after. So that's why I'm bullish, and that's why I integrated more into the team and I assist them. And even though my brand is the Crypto Playground, we deal with crypto education. I'm a 20-year Army veteran, retired, and I'm focused in cybersecurity. That's my story in a box, but people would say you're associating with something that's not so serious as your story. But that's okay, because it pulls me into a better place. I can smile, I can laugh. I'm enjoying myself and having fun while connecting with people who have good values and are trying to do social good, pulling people together that otherwise would not come together. So this community is doing wonderful in that perspective, especially with the leadership.
Absolutely. Yeah. And some of the wisest people are some of the most weird and silly people ever out there. And you don't get a message through by just barking at people or, being all serious all the time. There was an NFT project I was looking for a second ago, and it was about, is Crypto Titties, I think was the name of it.
Was it Bob's or?
I think it was Crypto Titties.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I bought one, and it was really funny, and it was cool, and I had a crypto titty that looked like a mime, and the person behind this project created these NFTs to raise awareness and money for breast cancer.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but she just started it because she thought it was hilarious. And so it's like the same concept, and that was on Ethereum, and I flipped that NFT. I made a decent amount of money, and it helped me to pay my mortgage bill for the month.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, I helped pay my mortgage bill and feed my family and kids and all that for the month because of a crypto titty NFT. And so what you're saying, brag about the accomplishments, even if it's based off of something that's just so But it was fun and I enjoyed it. And like, I can sit here and brag that I paid my bills off of titties, you know?
The next time you can do it with balls, you know?
Yeah. Right. But
you
even
can tell your kids
yeah, even if you don't like make money, you've still like branched out and learned something new. You've made a community, you've made friends, you know, and that's what a lot of this is about. I got a question. So this is on Avalanche, and you mentioned that. I've gone through the whole Phantom era. You know, there's tons of protocols, and then there was a bunch of meme tokens on Harmony as well, and like little DeFi games. Why Avalanche? What's going on? What's going on?
Yes, so Avalanche is an interesting space. So the narrative for 2024 is going to be gaming and AI. So Avalanche is launching so many games, or a lot of projects are launching on Avalanche games. So that kind of drives the narrative between Solana and Avalanche. So Ethereum, it's been around, it's old news. People understand the value proposition of that platform. But the narrative for 2024 is really Avalanche and Solana. So with Cox going into that environment, and then Avalanche vocalizing their support for culture coin communities, it really drove a lot of people to say, if this is the platform that is willing to embrace and celebrate the communities that form on it, then let's be here, you know? And what I realized, so it's almost every day, these communities come together on X Spaces, and they get into groups of like 30 to 50 people, and they're all talking and they know each other, and they're having conversations, they're catching up. Hey, how's the kids? How's the wife? People are saying, hey, it's Sunday, I got to go to church, but when I come back, I'm going to hop back on. And it's like a community. And every time we do a tweet, it's not just to a random business or a random project. These are people that we're connecting with behind the scenes, and it's getting bigger and bigger. And I said, wow, this is crazy to me, because these are good people, and we're talking and we're connecting, we're collaborating, and we're getting ready to launch actually today at 12 o'clock, which is a very important time for me. So I got to keep my phone on. Is at 12 o'clock today, they're launching the AVAX meme index, which is essentially like an ETF of the top meme coin projects on Avalanche. So one of the folks on there has created this environment, and they're going to bring together like Cox, BAWLS, Kimbo, all of these projects. I think there's probably, like, if I threw a number out, it'd probably be like 10 or 15 projects that they're going to bring together on this meme coin index, and they're only launching 1,000 tokens, right? That's going to be available for this. So this is pretty significant, because it takes away the stovepipe of effort, and it brings everybody together under a common umbrella and a common cause, which I think is super awesome for that project to do. But this happens all the time in this community. When I give you a quick story, so I don't know if you noticed, but our BAWLS ONU X account was suspended for a week. So you saw that. So we tried to navigate around that. We created a new account. That one got suspended, and we're sitting on there thinking we have about almost 4,000 users that are sitting in limbo that cannot get the information that we're trying to put out. And in the midst of this, on the 1st of February, we were launching our testicles NFTs, right, on Alpha Shares. So we're launching these things. In fact, let me put up a testicle on here, because you need to see.
I need a visual representation.
You need a visual representation of our testicles. I got to find our testicles, because I know I got a bunch of testicles on here somewhere. Out of all my, my whole. There you go. There's a testicle. So that's one of our testicles. These are
nice. NFTs. Yeah.
And we were launched on the 1st. And
is it generative? Does it change attributes?
Well, that's coming. We have a special project we're launching around some concepts with them. I'm not going to release everything now, but we're working on some.
Let's get some alpha, man.
I can't put it out yet. But when the Council of BAWLS decides to put it, we will put it out. But the bottom line is the community on Avalanche came together, and they were championing for us and working on our behalves as we were locked out of X. They were promoting our NFT launch. They were forming spaces. They were making memes saying free balls and putting pictures of us behind bars. I mean, we really came together in a very interesting way, something that I haven't experienced as I deal with tech inside of the crypto space. Those tech projects don't unite the same way that these communities do, which is a very interesting thing. I want to make sure that the balls keep rolling.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about this balls community. You're going towards testicular cancer, and what other types of efforts, do you guys do? Or do you meet up in a Discord server, or what does that look like generally?
Yeah, so great question. So we are trying to dominate every platform that exists. So we're on TikTok. We have a Discord where we do pretty much our decentralized autonomous organization. Our DAO operates out of there. So we do community voting when we're going to make big decisions. People can that are ball holders. The amount of balls they have determines the weight of their vote. So if we need to make a decision on, I mean, we're a brand new project, so funds have to be allocated in particular areas. All the efforts that we do all the funds that get raised, we allow the community to help us decide what's the right place to allocate those funds to help the project grow. Is it advertising? Is it listings? The community can help decide that. We have our Telegram channel where people get together. Some people just like to be on Telegram, so we have a community represented there. But yeah, we're everywhere. But the main place we do our collaboration externally is on Twitter, on the X Spaces.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if balls were a haircut, it would be skater bangs. You know how the mullet is business in the front and party in the back? Balls on you is the party in the front, the business in the back.
Yeah, let me write down the mullet as an attribute for the future balls.
Yeah.
We'll call it the Eureka balls.
Oh man. Yeah. So yeah, it's all fun and games, but when you look deeper, it actually has like some kind of really amazing underlying purpose. And that's where I was, getting sidetracked earlier, and I kind of had a brain fart. It's like our wallets. I look at people's wallets when they first contact me on Twitter, to see if it's like some kind of scam bot or not. I'll look at their ETH address or whatever address they have. I'll see what type of NFTs they hold. You can find POAPs in people's wallet. You can see how deep they are in the space. So our wallets are kind of slowly becoming our decentralized ID. And what I mentioned before, about the whole us creating these little meme communities, creating the rails of our digital IDs as we go along without even knowing it. We are creating some kind of ID about ourselves. And if I were to look in somebody's wallet and I see all these balls NFTs, I could see that if I didn't know better, I'd be like, this person's
degenerate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or I could be like, they are like, a really conscientious supporter of testicular cancer, but it would show like that they are deep into the Web3 space, and they're definitely not a bot, so all this line between decentralized ID, between DeFi, between meme communities, between gaming, it's all blending in some weird little glob in the middle. And I feel like it's taking form, but we aren't quite there yet. We're early.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we are doing what we have done inside the Balls community is we partnered with several game projects, the Egoverse being one of them. And we actually have a whole character. It's like a Mortal Kombat style fighting game. And we have a whole character built inside that game that's designed around our logo here. And
okay.
It's really cool. I mean, you would look at this and say, how does that, manifest as a game character? But it actually looks pretty cool. It's almost like a robotic Terminator type thing. And there's like a little ball in the middle. It's our Balls logo in the middle, and he's controlling this robot that's fighting inside this fighting game. And then we also partnered with another gaming project. I think it was called Gods of Asgard or something to that effect. And it's like the Balls is a companion for the god, and it gives them these powers and these abilities. But we're getting into GameFi. We're integrating it to different projects. We've done our NFT drop. We're making our own games specifically for the community. We're doing a lot of different things. We have merchandise that's out there through Crypto Lids and Mobilize for Good, which is another organization we're partnered with. But there's a lot under the hood that most people would never get an opportunity to unpack because they would just look at it at the surface level. And when you look at these influencers, they go for the companies that have the charts are going like this, or the attention is out there. But when you get down into the micro cap projects, there's folks that actually are trying to achieve, really valuable, noble things. and they deserve the attention. They deserve the attention and the support to actually realize their social impact objectives, where some of these other projects just have charts that go like this for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're not looking at Moon and looking at charts. They're actually pushing the edge of innovation and experimentation with maybe certain protocols, and then just using some kind of meme as the placeholder for that protocol to push the boundaries of what this technology can accomplish.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it's amazing stuff. So back to the gaming part, like you say that you can bring in your NFT as a character into a game that would support that. And so what do you like buy the attributes and maybe the tools or like a gun or something, a skin in that game to add to your?
So the NFTs are not a part of the game. The NFTs, we're going to create utilities specifically for the NFT, totally separate effort, which we kind of take code names for all of our efforts, and then we keep it in the community until it's fully matured, and then we release it. But for the game, this Eagleverse, they actually designed a character around the concept of Balls ONU, and that character is in the game. So you can choose it like Mortal Kombat. You can choose it as a fighting character and fight inside the game, and it's really cool. And then if you have an opportunity, if you go on our TikTok page, we have, I think I pinned it to the top. It's actually the second video on there that shows the character for the game.
So you rack it in the balls.
That's right.
Finish him.
Yeah. I think we had the finishing move might be the tea bag. I think that's what it is.
That's awesome, man. So yeah, you're using like this meme to really push the boundaries of GameFi, and it's super incredible. Yeah, this is like something that is the bleeding edge right now of Web3 technology, is integrating these NFTs into games. And Balls ONU is doing it.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of things, man, and we have a very innovative bunch, very passionate and driven bunch of guys who spend countless hours building collaborations, building relationships. But it's not just about the individuals on the team; it's about the entire ecosystem and the entire partnerships that we're building within the Avalanche community. That's really, really getting the job done. And we are looking across the board at other projects that are also starting. We're looking at their social impact. There's a project that just recently launched called Red Hat Games. That's pretty much allowing you to buy their tokens, stake their tokens on their platform, and the reflections are the top gaming coins that exist on the Avalanche environment, like Three Bull, Shrapnel, and Mr. Beam is the other one. So you buy their tokens, you stake it, and then it spits out the tokens that you actually like to hold from the GameFi environment. They just launched recently. And then another one called Bear in You, which is another one for their icon is bear, and they have their project going on. So we look across the board and find ways to support our brothers and sisters within inside of the Avalanche community.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like the hybrid nature of it with the gaming community, because in the past on like Phantom and stuff like that, there were all these DeFi protocols, and then you could jump in and provide liquidity for the AMMs and all that. And that's all it did. And there were just tons of them, and they would just disappear. And if you were lucky, you could make a very, very healthy profit. But 90%, 99% of the people lost when those projects got rugged. So, what can you say that you guys are doing to help prevent those types of scenarios?
That's a great question. I'm glad you asked, because I neglected to lead with that. So when the contract was launched, it was a fair launch, meaning that there was not an opportunity for whales to come in and they had a few days to buy up all the coins, where when everybody else came in, the price was already inflated. So it was a fair launch. We put some anti-whale mechanisms in place, so where somebody couldn't come and buy 10% of the supply. So that was one of the first things that we did, was to make sure that buyers had a fair opportunity to get the coin when it came out. The next thing we did is we renounced the contract. So we have no control over the contract, and we burn the liquidity pool, which is usually how contracts, either they lock the liquidity or they leave it available to them. So as people start to trade and then it skyrockets, you get that big candle, they pull the liquidity pool and then run away with the profits, delete the Twitter, and they're gone. So everybody that's on the team bought into the project just like everybody else. We didn't have any type of fair head start. We didn't, put, tokens to the side specifically so we could benefit from the team. And we are very conscious of emerging regulations in the space, and we are always having conversations and measuring ourselves against standards and regulations that are emerging in the space and saying, are we doing the right thing? Is this the right decision for the longevity of the project and not just for the quick cash grab? So we're interested in being around here for a long time and actually having social impact. And in order to do that, we have to stay compliant.
Yeah. The regulations are the sticky subject in this space, always. And that's a really hard thing to navigate, especially when even the regulation creators don't even know what they're going to call it. Yeah. So.
Either we're all going to jail or we're all getting rich.
Yeah. I mean, all this is speculative. There's no real utility in all this except for the experimentation of it aspect, and that's kind of what I see a lot of this utility is. It's like the trial and error, and that you guys are doing and pushing the envelope, with what these communities can accomplish.
Yeah, we have a fully doxed team. So in our white paper that we built, the team, and we're still working on that document, so it's incomplete, but it's publicly available. But full transparency, the team's fully doxed. Everybody's faces are out there. We share our LinkedIn. Nobody's trying to do anything illegal or immoral. Every decision that we lead with is definitely a decision based off our values and our morals. Every project is not like that. We just had one recently that launched and was trying to steal the thunder of our efforts. And they were around for probably a good 48 hours before they rug pulled and disappeared. These things happen.
Yeah. I was part of a project called Freaks and Guilds that did that same thing, and I have all these NFTs in my wallet from Freaks and Guilds, and basically I'll just call them scars from the past. And a scar is always stronger than what the skin that was originally there, though,
That is true. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. And then anybody who could look into my wallet, would see my Web3 trail and know that I've been around a while and you've been around even longer. And that's a testament, that you're in this project. Somebody could look you up and say, man, this guy's been around for a long time and then always been an upstanding player in the space. So, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's true for most of the folks that are on this team. Otherwise, I wouldn't associate with this effort if they didn't have the right values that align with my own.
Yeah. Well, that's rad, man. Tell us a little bit about the best way, easiest way. I know Avalanche has like 2 chains to it, and it's kind of I haven't dabbled with Avalanche in a while, like probably like a year and a half. So maybe it's changed, but weren't there like 2 chains, one onboarding and chain and one like swapping chain?
Yes. So the C chain is where our stuff's at. Super simple. Most people operate out of their MetaMask wallet. So you just take your AVAX, you download or install the AVAX chain onto your MetaMask wallet. You send your AVAX there, and we're currently inside the VaporDex, which is the decentralized exchange. It's actually the team, the devs that built VaporDex on Avalanche are actually the folks that were behind the launch of BAWLS ONU. So it's definitely some folks that have some experience and skill. And the initial community that came into BAWLS ONU came from the VaporDex community. So definitely, and they've been around for a while. So the folks have a reputation in the space, and VaporDex supports our project very intimately. So an individual will just have to transfer some AVAX into their MetaMask on the Avalanche chain. Go to VaporDex I think it's .io. Don't quote me on that. Just type in VaporDex. Let me check real quick. I don't want to tell you bad information out, but you go to VaporDex and then you just look for BAWLS ONU and you just do a swap. And VaporDex looks for the best rates, so that way you can get the best rates on there. And it's pretty simple.
VaporDex.io. Yeah.
Okay, you found it. Okay. Yeah, I was actually looking it up.
Okay. Here, so for somebody to get started, you go to like a general exchange like Binance or crypto.com, buy some Avalanche, an AVAX token. Then you would set up like the MetaMask wallet on your computer, plug in Avalanche into that with the RPC. I know it sounds complicated, but it's really not that complicated, especially with some of the things that MetaMask has been doing in their wallet. And then you would go to that chain, transfer from like crypto.com or Binance, wherever you bought it, or Gemini, over to your MetaMask. And then you would plug your MetaMask, you connect it to vapordex.io, then swap that AVAX to BAWLS, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, and AVAX is one of the pre-programmed chains inside of MetaMask. So you just click a little drop down, and then you can just literally select Avalanche, and it'll just pop up. So no specific coding or copy paste needed to actually get that chain on there.
Yeah, that would be a good thing for some content creator to make, is just like a little step by step, like from the centralized exchange to, you know, the DeFi protocol in BAWLS.
We do have a YouTube channel. I believe we do have a video up there that shows exactly how to get into the space. And all of that stuff is embedded inside of our white paper. So our white paper has all of the step-by-steps, exactly what you need to do, where the deck screeners are at, all of the links that you need so that you don't get scammed. I manage the white paper, the Git book for the team. So anytime that we do anything new or get new affiliations, I make sure I promptly go and update that Git book so that way nobody has to hunt around for where we're at.
Yeah, awesome. That's really helpful. You know, I went through some pretty helpful YouTube videos at the start, you know, that showed me how to use, you know, back then Sushi Swap and Uniswap, and it's just doing it. Sometimes you just have to just do it, and you'll learn it, and it'll be easy, and it's not as complicated as it sounds.
Absolutely. And then if anybody has any challenges, they can always hop into our Telegram. Our links are all on our website, bawlsonu.com. That's BAWLSONU.com. And we just hop over to our Discord or our Telegram, look for Magic Mike. I am 100% always available to help somebody walk them through the space. I'll talk to you till your ears fall off to make sure you make the best choices and you stay cyber secure as you operate in the space.
Yeah, and you know it because you come from cybersecurity, and then, like I said at the very beginning, it's in your bones. You know, you're shepherding the noobs coming into the space, trying to keep everybody safe in the flea market that we call the crypto world.
Absolutely, man. It's crazy out here, and I see the stories, I see the posts, even sometimes, and some of the folks that come into our group or on X, they say, man, I just lost $7,000. I got a rug pulled. That was my family's funds. And I tell people, play responsibly. This space for culture coins is for fun and entertainment. If you gain profit, that is just a byproduct of you committing to the community and the community doing what they have to do. I want to kind of add this little piece in here for the folks that are listening that might be thinking about coming into the meme coin community. So this is really about you. This is about what you do when you come to the community. And what you don't do will result in the price depreciation, and what you do will represent an appreciation of the actual asset. So don't come in the community asking people why the price is dipping or looking at the charts. It's not about that. If you come in the community and you're there for the right reasons, and everybody that you invite or everybody that's currently that is there for the right reasons, then the price will appreciate. It's a reflection of the value of the community. If the value sucks, then it goes down. If the community is great, it goes up. It's simple mathematics. But invest responsibly. Only invest what you can lose. And so come in and have fun.
Absolutely, you're there to add value or extract value.
Right.
And part of community is just consistency, just showing up. Like part of a job, people don't want to hire sometimes the best, whatever of the job position is. They want somebody that will just show up. And if you don't know what to do, just hang around long enough until you see what needs to be done and pick up the mop and do it, So.
Yeah, and that's super important too. In that video I posted today, my PSA to the community, I told them initiative, take initiative. The 80-20 rule is alive and well in the workplace and in the crypto community. You have 20% of the people doing 80% of the work in any environment. And that you'll see that in the crypto community too. So if you are part of the 20% putting in the work, you have a voice, you have a right to say something. If you're the 80% sitting quietly to extract gains, then just stay quiet and then let the community do the work, but come in for the right reasons.
Yeah, and I don't mean to sidetrack. I want to respect your time, but this leads me real quick. Like, we are going into the digital space, whether we like it or not. This digital world is being descended upon us. Like our banks, our healthcare, everything that we do is online. We barely get paper statements from credit cards anymore. We have to log in. So we have to have control over this digital space we're in and have it be a decentralized finance, be decentralized everything as much as possible. And Balaji Srinivasan, if you don't know who he is, look him up, Balaji. He wrote a book called The Network State. And instead of nation states, BAWLS ONU is a state, a nation state in the network. It is a culture community. The Dogecoin culture is a nation state. It is a network state. So nation state, just replace nation with network. And then instead of all these physical lines, geophysical lines, we're going to have network states all over the world. And what state are you a part of? And so by holding BAWLS ONU in your wallet, that's going to be part of your identity, and it will show which network state you belong to.
Man, I love that. I haven't heard that before, but I love that. That's definitely that's one up to the culture coin community. I love the network state idea. I love that.
Yeah,
because it kind of shows like the same way that people defend their nationality and their country. They say I'm American, and if anybody says anything bad about America, I'm offended. And I'm going to fight to add value to my country. And people should fight for their community the same way. Show loyalty, build value, try to figure out what you can do to build up your network state. And I think that's kind of a great concept.
Absolutely. Yeah. So any closing thoughts that you want to convey to your community and to anyone that's out there in the crypto community?
Yeah, absolutely. Stick around. We have a whole lot of things packed up. We're always trying to find ways to innovate. I encourage you guys that are coming into the space to don't look at the surface level of what a project is doing on the charts. Dig into the soul of the community. Find out who's there, who are the people behind the projects. The projects that have the best staying power are the ones that are built on values. The ones that will erode are the ones that's built on the charts. All right. So that's what survives the 4-year cycle is that commitment and that loyalty. That's how projects have staying power. So if you're in the space for the right reasons, and you're adding value, the value in the community is measured on the numbers of people who are participating and involved in the project. That's how you build a state. That's how you build that network state. So BAWLS ONU, we got a lot of things in store, and we implore you to come to the AVAX community and support any one of the projects here, but we would be very glad if you were to come and become a baller on our particular project.
Hell yeah, man. Amen. So yeah, I think I'm going to go join the Telegram. I'm going to become a baller, dude.
Absolutely. And send me your AVAX. I'm going to send you an NFT so you can be official.
Right. Awesome, man. All right. Well, thanks again. And we'll talk, hopefully not another 200 episodes later. So.
All right, John. I appreciate it, man.
All right.